Welcome into another video, and it is power rankings time for NFL because you know it's Tuesday. You know this is how we break it down. We got 11 through 32 laid out for you right there. The Bucks falling out of the top 10 for the first time this year. 26 through 32 pretty much solidified in their spots in my eyes this season. Obviously, plenty of ball left where that could change, but those are your bottom barrel teams. We boosted the Panthers up, dropped the Falcons this week, boosted the Jaguars up, dropped the Chargers, dropped the Vikings, gave the Bears a slight boost, the 49ers a slight boost, and then Green Bay staying at 11. Just now, the team that I think could sneak into a top 10, back into the top 10. No doubt about that. But let's go ahead and get right into it here with my top 10 teams. We're going to kick it off with number 10, the Baltimore Ravens. These guys have rifled off 4 straight wins now, find themselves a game back on the AFC North. Come on, they get Lamar back. They start rolling. This team's probably going to win the AFC North. They started 1-5. They're 5-5 now, only a game back on the Steelers, and they're probably going to win the AFC North. Now, they've had some offensive woes since Lamar came back. It hasn't been all peaches and rainbows and sunshine, but their defense is really starting to click. And that was a big issue of theirs in the beginning of the season. I know Kyle Hamilton's been banged up in the earliest season, Roquan Smith, a few other guys, but they get those guys back. Defense has been rolling now. Defenses look so much better. They're going to have to work out a few kinks offensively. I know that they ended up putting up like 27, I want to say, on the Minnesota Vikings, but like their first 4 or 5 drives started off with field goals. They really struggled against a stout Browns defense, not taking anything away from Cleveland, but they struggled immensely. You know, it should have been a blowout game if you want my honest opinion, but they still struggled. Offense needs to figure a few things out. Good thing is they got the New York Jets this week. It's a perfect get-right game for them. After that, Cincinnati Bengals. If you want to figure something out offensively, play the Bengals defense. That's how you figure something out offensively. And then they got the Steelers after that. So big couple of games. Should be able to get past these first 2 for the Ravens and find themselves in sole possession of the AFC North after they play the Steelers, which I do think they will win that one. Number 9, Indianapolis Colts. Drop them down a little bit after the bye week just because I don't know. I feel like the other teams that I had below them, I'm starting to buy into them a little bit more, and I'm just in the back of the head. Maybe it's that doubt I have about the Colts. I know that they're phenomenal offensively, and Jonathan Taylor should be in MVP conversations, but I think my doubts are starting to creep in about them, and it just comes up to the litmus test that they have this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs. I'm right back into it. I think that solidifies them. They've got Houston to play left twice this year. They've got Jacksonville to play left twice this year. Seattle Seahawks, 49ers. It's not the easiest schedule that they have remaining, but I will say this. If they beat the Chiefs, this team is locking in the AFC South. They beat the Chiefs. My respect is tip of the cap all the way off to them. 1,000%. A huge test for them this weekend. Moving into my number 18, Detroit Lions, dropping them down pretty significantly after their Sunday night loss to the Eagles. And I mean, this is the one. I mean, their offense shows up against these piss poor defenses. They know how to just expose these piss poor defenses. But when they've played some solid defenses this year, they have struggled. Their offense has struggled. Their offense struggled against the Minnesota Vikings. Their offense has struggled immensely against Vic Fangio. I know Vic Fangio has always been in his bag against Jared Goff, especially in cold weather. Being a Bears fan, I know that firsthand. Trust me. But they struggled against the Green Bay Packers in week 1. When they played bad defenses, they light them the fuck up. They do, but they have struggled against some of these top-tier defenses in football this season, and I know that Dan Campbell's now calling plays the rest of the way this season. They stripped Johnny Morton of that. I'm sure it's a collaborative effort. It's not like Johnny Morton is, completely useless now, but they've got to figure some stuff out because the NFC North is a strong division. I'm not saying I think the Bears are better than them, as you can see by that, or the Packers. I still think, as of right now, the Lions have showed me the most in this division, but it's going to be a tight race to the finish. So they need to figure their shit out offensively and very, very fast because it has not necessarily looked pretty when they've played some of these better teams. Moving on to my number 7 team, the Denver Broncos. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. They just beat the Chiefs well. I'm tipping my cap to them as well. This team was 13 last week. I had them at 13 despite being 8-2. They just have not passed the eye test for me. But this team just keeps winning games. They have the best defense in football. There's no doubt about that. But I've worried immensely about their offense. But Bo Nix shows up in the fourth quarter, and he really proved it. I mean, he really, really, really looked like a legitimate quarterback against a good Kansas City defense this weekend. I think that they're in the driver's seat now. This division is theirs to lose. I mean, they would have to lose like 5 of their remaining 7 games. Their remaining 6 games, they have to lose 5, 4. I mean, they're pretty much gonna lock up the AFC North unless they start immensely losing ball games over the course of the next couple weeks. I'm still a little bit worried about them long term in their offense, but really played a damn good game against the Kansas City Chiefs. They have every right to be back into my top 10 after being at 13. And speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, I have them at 6. Once again, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, and I honestly probably do deserve it. Just because I don't know how you could have the 5-5 team in the same division against the 9-2 team who just beat them on Sunday. But I don't know, man. I said it time and time again. I mean, their offense is still really good. Their offense is still really good. They can move the ball down the field. They just can't finish right now. It's just so hard for me to sit there and doubt them. Like, how many times have we doubted this team in the past, time and time again? They have lost their swagger though. Like, they don't have that swagger, but I'm afraid they're gonna get it. I'm afraid at some point they're gonna get it. So for me to sit there and just completely erase the Kansas City Chiefs out of my top 10 is just tough for me. I mean, I've moved them from number 2 to number 6, which was even then tough for me because I just have so much fear that this team's gonna figure it out at some point. I think this team 100% goes to the playoffs, and then once you're there, is the black magic back? Is the dark magic back? That's where my fear comes in. They're still number 2 in offensive EPA in the NFL. You know that, right? Like, they are very, very good. They are still very, very good. This team very well could find themselves in the AFC Championship game again this year, maybe even in the Super Bowl. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. I think we would be stupid-ass mother effers to eliminate them from any sort of serious contention until proven so. But I will say this. They lose to the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday. That's a panic button right there. You can't see it. It's imaginary, but that's a panic button. And I'm pressing the hell out of it. I am pressing the hell out of it. Now let's move into my top 5, kicking it off with number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. A very huge game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was kind of, in my eyes, their season, I guess, in a sense. In a sense, it was kind of their season. Obviously, I still think that this team could have lost to Tampa Bay and gone on to win out or win a few games. But, I mean, that would have been a really ugly loss coming off of the loss that you just did against Miami. But it's a great bounce back. A great bounce back because Tampa Bay's no slouches. No slouches. They're at 12. I mean, they were just in my top 10 pretty much the entire season. And, their next 3 games, Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Not going to be an easy task. Houston, best defense in football right there with the Broncos. Really, truly, such a good defense. Pittsburgh, I know that they haven't looked the greatest this year, but that's not going to be an easy task. Cincinnati, they should win that game. Regardless, those are your next 3 opponents, Buffalo, and I have you going 3-0, finding yourself at 10-3 before you play the New England Patriots. Right back in the mix. I have you right back in the mix. You will be a game behind because we'll talk about the Patriots in a little bit here, but odds are they're going to be winning these games that they have upcoming. You're going to be right there with the New England Patriots. I'm still all the way in on the Buffalo Bills. This is my Super Bowl team this year. I still think that this team could go to the Super Bowl this year. I am not worried about that. I think that the AFC is pretty wide open right now. I think the NFL is kind of wide open right now. I mean, genuinely, it is one of those great years where it doesn't feel like, oh, this team's going to the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. It really doesn't feel that way right now, and that's the beauty of the NFL, the parity of the NFL. It is awesome. But, I mean, like I said, this team could be 10-3, which going in to New England will not be an easy task. That will probably get flexed to Sunday Night Football. That is must-see TV. I'm excited for that. I got Buffalo going 3-0 over the next 3 games, and then moving into my number 4 team, New England Patriots. Their highest ranking for me this season. Offense has not slowed down in any way, shape, or form. They're number 6 in offensive EPA per play. The Bengals on Sunday, they've got upcoming. They're going to probably hang like 50 on their heads. Bengals defense is so bad. Patriots will probably improve to 10-2. You got the Giants the following week after that, and then you got a bye week before you play Buffalo. So, like I said, I don't think that team's going to be losing their upcoming games. I think this team's going to find itself at 11-2 before their bye week, and then they got to play Buffalo. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to find themselves at 10-3 going into New England, and it's going to be a bloodbath, baby. It is going to be a bloodbath because if the Bills win that, then they're even. Exact same record, beat each other 1-1 against each other. That will be must-see TV, baby. That'll be beautiful because, the New England Patriots got to play the Baltimore Ravens the very next game after they play the Buffalo Bills. So that's where it could kind of get interesting. It could be a very interesting finish for the AFC East, and I'm so fired up. 2 AFC East teams in my top 5. Also, 2 NFC West teams in my top 5. You guys might think this is a little bit of a surprise, boosting up the Seahawks after they lost, but I was impressed. I was. You know how I feel about the Los Angeles Rams, guys. I mean, I am a big fan of the Los Angeles Rams. I think their defense is amazing. They showed that in Sunday, picking off Sam Darnold 4 times. Beautiful. I mean, they are a very impressive football team. But yet, the Seahawks had a chance to win that game. They did. They very well had a chance to go out there and win that game. They stayed in that game. Their defense kept them in that game. That is a top 5 defense, a solid offense. Despite the 4 interceptions, they were right there with them. They held Matt Stafford to the lowest amount of passing yards that he has had since joining the Los Angeles Rams in the 2021 season. In the 2021 season. Think about that. They are no joke. Seattle is good. I was skeptical coming into the season on them. Had them at 9-8. Think they will surpass that. No issue whatsoever. Just sucks that they're in the division with the Los Angeles Rams. Moving into my number 2 team, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 teams in my top 3 from the NFC. I think that says a lot. I'm a big fan of what the NFC's got going for them. I think they look really strong and really scary this year. Philadelphia Eagles, number 2. Now, their offense needs to work some things out. They do. They finally start to get A.J. Brown the ball, 7 receptions, but it was for like 49 yards. I was like, what the hell? They cannot seem to push the ball down the field very much right now, and it's not great. But they're doing enough offensively where their defense is just playing lights out football. Vic Fangio has got them boys going. I mean, that is one of the greatest defensive minds of our generation. Genuinely, I think he should be put in the conversation of Spagnuolo, Mike Tomlin, Belichick. Like, he is a defensive master, and he knows Jared Goff very well. And he put Jared Goff in his place on Sunday night, outdoor, in the cold. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful, just defensive game plan. I think they held Jared Goff to his career low in completion percentage. I mean, it does not get much better than that. And I think that's why I got him so high right now. I have so much faith in Vic Fangio and that defense that I believe Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Devonta Smith will figure it out. Despite some of their offensive line injuries, they're going to figure it out. It's not going to be a full-blown figure it out, hey, let's go hang 32 on some people's heads. But I think this is going to be a team that's only going to need to score 21 points because they're going to be able to hold their opponents under 20 points. So that's why I'm so high on the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Number 1 team, best team in football, Los Angeles Rams. Every week that they win. It's like I'm building that Rams fandom in me. Obviously, I'm a diehard Bears fan. I wouldn't change it any other way. I wouldn't have any other way. I will never, ever truly root for another team to win. But for my takes, people, for my takes, you root for your takes. I love watching the Rams win because it was like, hey, I was the guy who had them going to the Super Bowl this year. You know that, right? And I'm going to talk about it every single week because I got them in the number 1 spot. I don't care. You guys watch my power rankings every single week. If there is some who watch my power rankings every single week, and I talk about how I have the Rams going to the Super Bowl this year, guess what? I'm going to keep saying it every freaking video. Trying not to cuss as much either. Every freaking video, I'm going to talk about the Los Angeles Rams and being the best team in football. Number 2 in defensive EPA. Top 10 in offensive EPA. They are balling. Their defense is so good. Clint Kubiak is like one of the hottest coordinators in football right now with what he's been doing with the Seattle's offense. Their defense put them in check. Chris Chula put them in check. Nobody has put the Seattle Seahawks offense in check like that all year long. All year long. But the Rams did. Chris Chula did. That team is really, really hot right now. I think they're the hottest team in ball. I do. I think they're the best team in ball. I think they're the hottest team in ball. You could argue the Patriots, but I don't know. I think what the Rams are doing is much more impressive to me. They are rolling right now. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Power Rankings video. We'll be back with more content very soon. If you want to check out my Dynasty content posted this morning, go give it a watch. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.